So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Sunday. Now in today's video guys, we have our updated 4-4-2 custom tactics, and the best time I think to use this formation is when you're struggling just to win games or struggling to find your flow. It's a very basic formation which allows you to find your feet, which is why it is so useful a lot of the time and is why I like to use it so often. So yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get into some tactics and then we'll get started with some gameplay. If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. Okay then guys, so starting off with the tactics for today. For the defensive start, as always guys, by now you should get that we use balanced a lot. Now the reason we like balanced is because it does give you the best control over your defense. So when you want to be super aggressive, you can do that, and then when you want to be a little bit more passive, you can also do that. So balance just allows you to have more control over your defense, which is why it is so useful in my opinion. Now, moving on to the width, guys, for the defense, I like to have a more narrow and compact defensive width, which is why I have it below 50. I think anything below 50 is alright, but I think it's better to be closer to 40 than it is to be to 50, because 50, it just feels like there's too much space in between all of your defenders, and it's just easy for your opponent to play right through the middle of you. Here, we block off the middle areas primarily, but we still have good coverage to cover the wings when we need to, guys. Moving on to the depth, we have this on 60. There are a couple of options you can use here. If you like the 71 depth thing with the automatic press and that's absolutely fine. Although I don't think it's an absolute necessity after the new update, because it's not as, overpowered as it was. It's still really good, but I don't think you have to use it. I prefer something like 60 so I can keep a higher defensive line, but I'm not using the automatic press, so I have a bit more control there. If this is still too high for you, you can go for something like 55, and that will do you just fine. Moving on to the build-up play, guys, I have this on balance. Gives me the best control over my build-up. So if I want to play slow, I can, and then if I want to speed up and play a little bit faster, I can also do that. You can do whatever you want with this, however, but I do recommend balanced. Moving on to chance creation, guys, direct passing is still an absolute must in my opinion, because it's the only setting which will allow you to break through those park the bus defenses. With direct passing, your attackers will commit these runs, the defenders will follow those runs, and then your attack will track back so you can cut back to them. So very, very overpowered, even if it is a little bit boring. Moving on to the attacking width, guys, I don't like to use a crazy high attacking width because it feels like my players just get too spread out and it's hard to link up the play. So I like to go for something like 46, 45. Doesn't really matter as long as you're in the range of like 40 to 45, 46. It's okay, really. You can go a bit higher, but the reason I like this is because we still have a little bit of width, but my players aren't absolutely, like drifting apart from each other. There's still a bit of width, but it's not too wide at the same time. Moving on to the players in box, guys, we have this on 5, bang in the middle, so we can get a few players into the box, but we don't overcommit everybody. And then corners and free kicks, you can do what you want with this, but we just have these both on 1. Sorry to interrupt the video, guys, but I have noticed around 90% of you that watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you are enjoying the content or finding it helpful, please consider adding that subscription, as it does help me out massively. Also, don't forget to drop a like on the video as well. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you enjoy. Let's continue. Moving on to the player instructions, guys. On one of the strikers, I have them on stay central and get in behind. This is so we can always look to get in behind those high defensive lines which people like to use. Very effective for getting easy chances. We also have them on stay central, so they primarily stay in the central areas and don't drift out wide. We don't really need them to do that. We want them to be in the middle where the strikers should be primarily. On the other striker, guys, the one which maybe has a little less pace, Griezmann in my case, I have him on mixed attack and stay central. Mixed attack so we can get a bit more involved in the build-up. Just makes it a bit easier to attack in my opinion. Other times he'll get in behind, sometimes he'll come short. You just get more out of the player, which is really useful. And then stay central for the same reason as the left striker, where we don't want them drifting out into the wide positions. Moving on to the right mid and the left mid, guys, quite a few instructions here, but come back on defense, cut inside, get in behind and get into the box across. Come back on defense just ensures that they always sit in the correct position when we don't have the ball. If they're on basic defensive support, they can be a little bit lazy, which is not too useful for us. Cut inside is useful because it means they'll start their runs out wide and then they will cut in, which is a very good attacking AI movement and hard for the defenders to mark, so it is really useful to have this. Getting behind, obviously, to utilize the player's pace to get in behind those defensive lines, and then get into the box across so these players are not hesitant to get into the penalty area. Moving on to the left centre mid, guys, I use a more defensive-minded midfielder in this position, so we just have him on stay back and cover centre. Pretty self-explanatory, we don't want this player going forward, and then cover centre means they'll primarily cover the central areas as opposed to the wings. Moving on to the right centre mid, I use a more box-to-box style player, so I leave them on the default settings so they're not restricted, you know, they can attack and defend. The only important thing is cover centre, so they primarily defend those central areas when they need to. Moving on to the left back, guys, whichever your more attacking fullback is, essentially it could be your right back, but your more attacking fullback, mine being the left back, balanced overlap. This is because it gives you extra width in the attack, gives you a wider option, stretches out your opponent's defensive line, and just makes it a bit easier to attack, especially since we've got the left mid and the right mid on the cut inside instruction. So these players will invert their runs, leaving space for the fullback to overlap and give you another wide option. So very, very useful. And then on the other fullback, guys, stay back and overlap, so you always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when you send them on a run forward, they'll make the overlapping runs to give you that extra width. For the 2 centre backs, guys, I leave them alone, and the keeper, I also leave them alone. But yeah, that's it for the tactics. Let's get into some gameplay. I should have scored that. I should have passed it over, maybe. I don't know. Just wasn't very good for me there. There we go, Griezmann. Nice. Good stuff. The shot cancel worked there for once. Damn, bro. Butcher is quick. Oh. Oh, he saved that. Wow. Wow, that is one of the most boring first halves of my life, guys. Honestly, there really wasn't a lot to show you there. Well, there we go, Griezmann. Good stuff, man. 2-0. That Trivela is still so overpowered, man. Gonna go out wide. Mark the overlap. Lovely. Blitz him. Come on. Try and loop it through. Chip. Oh, come on. Oh, nah. The game just ignores your input sometimes, I swear. Like, I chipped that so in advance, but Griezmann was just like stuck in animations. That was an assisted pass, and I hate them so much, man. That was an assisted pass. Goal. See, I don't like that, even though I was the one that scored it. Like, my pass just got corrected, so it would go past the guy that was intercepting the lane. Like, he should have had that ball. Like, there's no way that pass I made should have gone through. So that feels a bit dirty to me. He's got one back again somehow. There we go, 3-2. Alright. The gameplay doesn't feel that great at the moment, but it's not the worst I've ever had. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up right here, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to drop it a like, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on notifications. And with all that aside, guys, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace!